Now, now, I want to ask you a question. What is the Old Testament and what is the New Testament? I would say it's a breaking point in the flesh of the seed of this earth. It's a breaking point and a new beginning where something has to start over again. In other words, if you're driving a vehicle and you shut the engine off, you don't kill that engine, it's dead for that moment. But the New Testament of that engine is when you crank it back up and begin your journey. Or it's the part where you have completed one journey and begins on another journey. But how could you say this is the New Testament and there have not been a breakage and never have been a restart? How can you distinguish a New Testament from the Old Testament if there have not been a breakage? Let's go to Genesis, where God created the first man and the first woman, who was Adam and Eve. Through Adam and Eve brought forth this seed. Now, Cain slew Abel. As God looked to Abel and he spoke to Abel concerning the fall, where he played in prophet. Excuse me. We notice in that paragraph and about this first creation, the earth had gone for about 1,500 plus years. I've studied this. Now, excuse me, there was a breaking point. Because at that time, men were living 5, 6, and 7, 800 years. 5, 6, and 7 generations, according to the standards upon which man lived and died as of today. Even though there was a small population, but the earth was being populated by the seed of man through this long lifespan. But now man is appointed 120 years. The earth was living, the first human race after Adam was living 5 generations of the people as of today. This is what they were living. So, one man was equivalent, if you use it as a resource, he was equivalent to 5 generations of men. His lifespan was equivalent to 5 generations of men as of today. We're going to break this down here. Now, this takes us to Genesis chapter 5. Now, there was something happened before the flood of Noah. Find this in Genesis chapter 6, I believe. I'll make sure I got this right here, because I don't want to misguide. You've been misguided so long until you just can't have no accidental misleading. You got to know the truth and the whole truth about the Bible promise. Well, let me get this Bible now, because I've got so many Bibles I go through. Just like a mechanic, when you're going through so many tools and you got to work on this part, that part. Some tools even though they might not be the best quality of tools, but they just feel so good. Your hand have got used to them, and you have to just use them too. And this is the way it is about my Bible. It got so feel so good about my hand till the toe, one with toe leaves, it's just hard to get rid of it because they just feel so good in my hand because I didn't work with them so long, and I just look like every time I get ready to look at a page, I just touch it and it just flies right over to what I intended to. Good. Okay. Okay. Let's go to Genesis chapter 6. I want to just stop here for a moment, then I'm going to move to something else. And I want to show you something. And it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them. Genesis chapter 6, verse 1. That the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. And the Lord said, My spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is blood, yet his days shall be 120 years. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came in to the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men, which were of old men of renown. And God saw that the wickedness of the man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the tongue, thoughts of his heart, was only evil contention. And it repented God that the Lord, that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. And the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and the creeping things, and the fowls of the air, for it repented me that I have made them. Okay. Let's stop there. There's various parts here that I want to bring to your attention. This was the new first of the beginning of the human race, when these things transpired. So this would become the Testament, the first beginning, which would be the New Testament of the human race. The sons of God went in into the daughters of men, took them wives all who they choose. In other words, through the phrase and paraphrases there, it let us know that the daughters of men was powerless. Because he said, all whom they choose, meaning none left out. So if the angels of God went into the daughters of men, anytime they got ready, meaning the daughters of men could not reject him. It was out of their power. So he slept with the daughters of men and bare children unto them willfully or unwillfully. They had the power to do this thing. Creating a new manner of peoples upon the face of the earth. And the results, this new manner of peoples did according to his own will and not the will of God, by sinning with the flesh and causing the flesh to sin, and creating new manner of people who rebel against God. They're telling you right there. God had no power with these people because they had a mindset of their own. to do evil continually.